Hello my friends and welcome to episode 12 of Total War Saga, Thrones of Britannia with Circenn. Just going to start out straight away, much like yesterday. This is a postcom. Right now I'm just checking what we can upgrade, debating what's the best options. Because that's kind of what I do at the start of an episode, and I'm kind of hoping that I've edited this correctly. So I just want to say, first of all, thanks again for tuning in. I know this is a post-com, but it means so much to me that you guys continue to check and basically watch the content, particularly during these harder times. Moving the King's army up north to try and help deal with Sudreyar and the rebels that are up there. Obviously only at war with Sudreyar now. We've got peace with the Orkneyar. That happened in the last episode. We beat them at Dunfoyder and they paid for peace. That's good for me. And we're doing some research. Can't remember exactly what we did, but again, if you ever want to have a look at these, just hit pause and you can see exactly what we do. Again, I can't talk to you about what my thought process was at the time because I've always recorded a few episodes ahead, and by the time I came to editing this, I was ahead. My thought process is very, very different. But basically, I'm trying to look at what we can get from the trees afterwards. And what I remember with the melee tree is if you get the first one and then go down, you avoid any of the punishments for going up tiers, but you also gain tier 3 swordsman. So that's one of the better trees I think to go for, is the bottom of the melee tree. I'm going to end this turn and kind of see what Sudreyar do, but they're going to go for the rebels and then they're going to start marching towards Dunfoyder, but they stop and encamp on their way. They've got a 14 stack army that's semi-strong there. But they're now out of their territory, so they're not replenishing, which is actually quite beneficial for us because it allows us to have time to either build or recruit. Basically, we know they're coming towards Dunfoyder, they're not replenishing, we can. That's all good things. The Galleydale obviously to our west, taking over a lot of our former ally who turned on us territory, whose name always eludes me. They cover a lot of that territory, and I'm slightly worried about them at this point because they are fairly powerful, but we get some flooding in Scone, and the repair cost for this isn't too bad. Sometimes you see the repair cost absolutely massive. I can't remember if I decided to do this or not. But our upgrade of that settlement is also now done, so we're now at a tier 2 settlement there, which improves our garrison slightly as well. -3 on public order, which isn't ideal. -2, but -3 of that is occupation, so that will go away in 2 turns or so. And are we going to build here? Storage Cave, I believe, is a unique building to Circenn. It's the one that I'm looking at just right now. But it's very, very good for food, and also allows you snow attrition while you're in that settlement. I'm not sure if it passes on to armies that are made in that settlement. I've not been able to test that yet. But anyone that knows, let me know. That would be fairly helpful. But on this occasion, I think this is what we do buy, because our food has been a big issue during this series. The Tanner's the other option. We've got Scone Priory, which I believe is unique to Scone. We've got the Grange as an option and the Blacksmith for this slot, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to build the Storage Cave. And we do. I was almost thinking from my brain for a second there and going, nope you don't, nope you don't. My brain says that was the right thing to do in hindsight, so hopefully it is the right thing to do. But we're going to bring this army north, the King's army. I was a little bit worried about them being able to get back to Aberdeen and getting us in range. So I end up just leaving them here, because I do remember thinking that. I was worried about that, and I'm glad my mouse cursor sort of done that, because that triggered that memory, which is always very helpful, particularly when I'm doing a post-com and I'm not thinking how I was at the time. Watching this episode and last episode back, there's a few things that if I was watching the content, I'd be screaming at myself, do this, do this, do this. So I imagine there's a good few things that you guys see in every single episode. Let me know those things down in the comments down below, because I absolutely love them. I'm already there. Hit the like button and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Got another army. I'm not sure if that's Viking Raiders coming up north here, from down south. Not sure who they are. Genuinely can't remember them off the top of my head. And we've got a situation of lower influence or do nothing. So I've done nothing, and we've got our governor upgraded for Scone as well. Always like a good governor upgrade. I'm not sure if these battle maps upgrade when you upgrade them. I just noticed that Scone expanded with the building of that storage cave, and the walls went around it, so I'm curious to see if that battle map is different compared to what it was in episode 9. But do we do anything with this army? I'm actually trying to think what we do with this army, because I think this is an interesting spot where bringing it to here maybe isn't the right option. But we know they're not replenishing. They're in enemy territory, and I do indeed bring them ashore, but bring them south of Dunfoyther to get them at least replenishing as well. So that's not a full stack army. Got some damage to Scone still, but the main building has recovered, and the cost of repairing, I think it's in Moot Hall, still the same. We've got these two provinces down south. I always forget about these two provinces, because they're disattached from our territory, which means that I focus so much on the territory that's sort of Edinburgh to Dunfoyther, and I see that as a territory and forget about those two little ones. I believe they're both food provinces as well, so fairly handy to have. We're going to recruit some units into this army, or at least we're looking at it, at doing that. But my main focus at this point is to get the economy back on track, because the economy is what's hurting us right now. We're only bringing in 1,200 a turn. We've only got 13 units. That's not very good. But we do recruit some spearmen. That takes us into 1,100 per turn income, and we've only got 14 units, and none of them are full strength right now. For that, I can't even remember who you are. You're the general. Right, that's good. So a good trait there for Fothad to pick up. I actually think I'll ask that question in the live com that didn't work. And we're going to end the turn. Kind of trying to leave it in Sudreyar's court here. What's ideal for me at this point, thinking wise, is that they attack Dunfoyther, because if they attack Dunfoyther, I know I can defend that territory. I've got extra archers and skirmishers in that army, but I don't have anything else really. But they have decided to release their fortification, and they have ran away from us, which isn't quite so ideal, because that means we don't get to fight them on our terms very much as and where they were. That faction coming up towards that Northfield province of Codingham, where Northfield have a pretty handy looking army sitting, garrisoning it. And I think at this point, my thought process right now looking at this is take on Sudreyar and then go south and wipe out Northfield, because they've not got a whole lot of territory. You just see that thin band of yellow where their territory is. Be pretty easy, and we could get a province completed quite quickly and reunite our lands. And at this point, I've brought my king into Dunfoyther, I move that smaller army down to Britannia, where they can both get decent replenishments, but my King's army is a stronger army right now, because it's got 10 units, and it's slightly stronger in terms of its replenishment cycle. Again, just at this point considering the options of bringing in some units, what units are going to work, and how strong we're going to be. I'm struggling to see the difference, but I did explain the difference in the live com, so pause and see the differences for yourselves if you want to, or if you're a bit faster looking than me, then that's great, because I'm struggling. But we take some axemen, a spearman and a swordsman for the King's army. That takes us down to 900 per turn, but it does give us a 13 stack army, which is fairly helpful. War declared, I'm not actually sure what either of those factions are, but they're not really relevant to us. -5 happiness at Doonfoyder. I think most of that is occupation, and we're going to recruit an axeman for the army down south. Again, not a huge upkeep there, so that's fairly helpful, taking us down to 911 per turn. Income, storage cave doesn't actually produce any money, and I believe it never will. We're looking here, but it produces, you see there, 100 food when it gets to its top. I don't think there's many buildings that can produce 100 food straight off the bat, which is why I like it. And also upgrading that building, I believe, would unlock us the watermill tree, which is a fairly handy tree to have. And at that point, I'm thinking, and I remember because my little cursor doing the business again, I'm looking at expanding Scone into a tier 4 city and getting another building in there. Sorry, a tier 3 and getting another building in there, because that's always helpful. And the thing that I'm looking at there is also not just what it's going to offer my faction in general in the short term, but what is going to complement that region, because that is oh so important. What is complementing that region? If you have, say, a lot of market settlements, having something like Market Cross, I'm not sure if that's available to my faction. I think we cannot research that tree, but a market, if you've got, say, a Market Cross and you've got lots of market buildings, your money is going to go through the roof. If you've got lots of food provinces and you've got something that goes plus 10% food, great. And you can even take happiness knocks on that if you've got churches as well, and maybe not a lot of industry. Industry, obviously, the backing of that. That Sudreyar army have went and taken on the rebels. But yet here, as we see, Northfield down to 2 territories now. They're at war with Strathclute currently. They've just taken a territory off them. So going south on them looks very, very tasty, and then that would give us a hard border with Northumbria, which is a bit more scary than Northfield in fairness, but Northfield don't like us too much. In fact, they're at war with the Northfield as well, Northumbria, so it's easy. I'm trying to think what I was doing here. I was checking all these places for a reason. A lot of enemies there for East Anglia. And that storage cave just coming along, and we've hit our tree for cavalry without increasing the cost of upkeep, and we decided against that because our cavalry costs so much to upkeep, and we've gone for a military research again, going for our, I think what we unlock this time is wolfhounds, but unlocks the warrior and swordsman upgrades. We do go for Aberdeen. We're just going to be out of reach of that Sudreyar army, which is fairly helpful, but we've now reboosted, bringing in some extra food from Aberdeen. And that also brings in more money as well, so we're back up to 1,000 per turn. Did we recruit units there and I've missed it? I don't think we did. But we're bringing in 1,000 per turn again now, which is kind of acceptable. I would kind of like to keep it like the 2000 mark plus, but we've never had a chance to have that in this series, and we need to get units in these armies. The more units we can have and support, the more luck we're going to have when we're facing multiple opponents like we had to do earlier on. Ideally though, from now on we just have one at a time, or one and maybe an ally or a vassal to deal with, and we can have full focus going in one direction, with maybe one force just supporting the defences from maybe an attack behind. Of course, if we could take the north of Scotland, we shouldn't have to worry about that too much unless there's raiders. But our general has leveled up here. He is a fairly okay general. 2-star command isn't ideal. Excuse me. But he's got some decent traits in here. He's a good leader. 10% command movement range with energetic, and minus upkeep for all units. Quartermaster and champion are the two that I'm kind of thinking are the best. Forager's pretty good as well for both general and commanders, but we're going to go for champion in this instance, and we're going to go for deer. Get that province back as well, or that settlement rather, which is keeping us okay, but allows us to see where that Sudreyar army is again. That's more food in the books, and back up to 1200 per turn gain. And we're pushing both our armies forward at this point, because I'm kind of hoping to group them up if we have to take on that Sudreyar army at some point and we're not at full strength. But our storage cave has built, and we're going to upgrade it. It's only 1100 to upgrade. It's another 30 food. Again, you don't get many up boosts for that level for that kind of cost. It also boosts our supplies for our armies and increases legitimacy. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but it'll tell me somewhere if I really needed to find out. And increases unit replenishment, which is very, very helpful when you're recruiting units, or you've just had an army that's been weakened. So the rebels held onto their territory. That got sacked by the Sudreyar. And are we going to bring in more units here? Looking at archers, which actually looking at this army wouldn't be a bad choice to bring in some archers here. Really wouldn't. And we do that, do we? Yes, we do. That gives us an archer and one crossbowman. It's really not any range to this army, so having extra range will be helpful. 1100 per turn coming in just now. 77 food in excess, which is helpful for our recruitment and for our army upkeep. Because it means we can bring in more units without worrying about food too much. Got a Northumbria army in one of our territories there. That makes me very, very nervous. They're trespassing in our territory. We're not at war, which is a key factor here. But I've got no armies down there. But I know that they're a strong faction, and as much as they have wars in the south, it really wouldn't take them much to send a couple up here, and we would be in a lot of trouble at present. Faction encountered East Saxa. Not sure how we encountered them, but okay, we did apparently. And that's the Northumbria army, the Ravens. Actually, go and hit in the comments what you would like me to name my armies, because that'd be fairly interesting. I mean, losing those two settlements down there wouldn't be a disaster. It would cost us quite a bit of food, but at this point I'm like, right, let's see if we can get some sort of friendship. But they reject that. It's insulting. Is what it is. Stratclute, in fact, are the only faction that likes us, and Cassio, they are okay with us, and Kent's okay with us, but basically not many people like us, and that's something I don't particularly like. Do I upgrade here? Dunbar's the only thing that's worthwhile really upgrading right now, I think. Edinburgh, in fact, is the only thing we can't upgrade in Edinburgh. Got a lot of things to upgrade in Scone, which I would like to have as a financial hub. And having your main province, a province that you think should be fairly safe as a financial hub, is never a bad idea. One where if you lose it, you're going to lose a lot of money, but it's one that shouldn't be lost very easily. And Scone and its province is where I think that we're going to go up here and we're going to take Ross Cuisine, I think, because we realised that that army couldn't get to Aberdawn or Deer, which is fairly helpful. So we can move up, take Ross Cuisine back, and for the first time in a long time we've got Deer, Ross Cuisine and Aberdawn, and we've actually held on to Aberdawn for more than a turn, which is fairly new. Minus 14 happiness here, building's costing us a lot. Ross Cuisine has a minus 6 building in it, which is a big issue, and we don't have any happiness. But 2,000 coming in per turn from that. That was a big gain. And from that, I think at this point I'm just focusing on let's get food, because food, as I said, allows you to have an army and support it. Having an army and supporting it is great for business. And right now we're sort of putting the foundations in of trying to put our work back into place. I'm trying to see which one's better here. I think it might actually be this one, but it costs more. This one is very, very good, I think, though. The lumber yard reduces the construction costs next door, and we've got province next door, north and south, that are going to have a lot of construction going on in the near future. So I think looking back, that would have been the better buy there. But we do focus on the food. The only issue with the industry one is I think, no, that is the one building that doesn't actually reduce happiness in the tree, or the, not the tree, the what's the word I'm looking for? Industry line. I think that's one of the few business buildings that doesn't actually decrease happiness. So it's a fairly good building to have, because it reduces that construction cost as well. That Sudreyar army has came back at us at Aberdawn. We've only got a 5-stack army there, which is fairly worrying, because having a 5-stack army isn't ideal when you're placing a 15-stack army at both weekend. So we've got a character here. This is for Fothad. This wife, if I remember, he's a governor, is actually very, very good. So what do I do here? I do give him a blessing. That's fairly good for me. He was a governor. We got it right. And that's happy, happy days, because she is a very, very good wife for a governor. Plus for public loyalty, plus for governance, and plus, minus command. Minus command is not great, but didn't have any command on him anyway, so wouldn't actually lose anything. And we're going to upgrade Scone, get that up to a 3-stack, and we're going to upgrade the water mill, or we're going to continue on because we're only one away from the wolfhounds. But we can now research what's it called? We can now research the watermill. That's what I'm trying to say. Bringing this army south, debating what I'm going to do with this army. At this point, I do bring it just into range, but the problem was I can't get this army down far enough to catch up with it and be in reinforcement range. So what I decided to do is to put our army into reinforcement range over our other army, which should hopefully give us a numerical advantage. Unfortunately, we cannot attack them because the other army is just not in range, which is fairly frustrating. So we keep it away, and we're just going to keep our 5-stack in the range of the 15-stack that we have. The King's army, because that puts us in a favourable position, might put them off attacking us. As you see, that 5-stack up to a green level army for its size, which is okay. It means that army is slowly starting to build. and get back together. You know, we've now got 20 units, we're now starting to make a bit of money, and Sudreyar have gone for Aberdawn and taken it away from us. Always fun when they steal your city or your settlement. They do have Britannia as well, which is our settlement, or at least was our settlement to start the game with. We've not held it for a long time. It'd be nice to reunite this province and get it working for us the way it should have been if we had looked after it properly. In fact, I think it was in Northfield that actually took off us, and then Rebels, and then Sudreyar and Orkney have taken bits of it. So this 5-stack army, I'm thinking I just want to bring it in just enough that it can reinforce at Aberdawn, because I'm slightly worried that 15 stack versus 15 stack is not going to be strong enough. We have a fairly big advantage, so I think in hindsight I should have just played this battle, because of it's been quite a good battle to do, but I believe I'll resolve it defensively, thinking I've got an edge. We do take some casualties, but we do win. We take that Sudreyar army out, and we're going to occupy Aberdawn, take it back. We have 1888 coming in gold, but with 2 damaged buildings. We're going to repair them. We're going to send this army straight across to Runnin to get it back. We can't move this army, of course. Minus so much happiness there. We're going to get another champion into our king though, or we're going for quartermaster rather. Quartermaster, always good to get that campaign movement range, of course. I feel like I should have played that battle in hindsight. Really sorry guys. I'll try and play more battles. And again, I'm just looking at upgrading Scone, and at this point I'm pretty sure I'm making this place, I'm upgrading this place as much as I can before I do anything else, because this is a place that I see is safe. I'm going to start researching the watermill, getting that tree line done, because that's quite a handy one. So we do indeed research it, and we're going to end that turn. I'm just struggling to see the bottom corner of my screen there as this turn goes, but Northumbria again trespassing through our territory. It looks like they're coming up for some rebel action, and Rochester or towards Northfield. Be interesting actually having a border with them where we've got territory between their borders. That would be quite an interesting thing actually. If they were to go and do that right now, that would be put us in a strange position. That Aberdawn does look pretty well stacked. I'm pretty sure there's a pretty strong army in there, mixed with a garrison, and I don't know how strong the garrison is. However, we're back on action, and we're going to move into Runnin. We're going to complete this province once again. Happy days. Good for legitimacy. We've got an annexation available, unfortunately, and I did go and check this. There is no faction that shares our culture to annex right now. Not that maybe we would have done it, debated it, but there's none that share us. So as you can see, we can't annex anybody, so as much as it said annexing available, there's nothing to annex. I do give a good couple of looks at this. I think it's a bit of a misleading thing, the fact that it says, but what it's basically saying is you've got enough legitimacy to do this. It hits at 30, and we've just hit 30. But we are offering Strathclyde to become our vassal, but we're not going to be able to do that just now. One of the things I've discovered is because we've been a defensive pact with them, as much as we're now starting to get stronger in the strength ranking in comparison to them, we're not, they see us as equals, and we were equals for long enough that they're going to be seeing us as equals all the time basically, or for a very long time. And in fairness, they do have a lot of territory. So we're going south again, and we're going to look at upgrading at Scone. We're going to go straight for the storage cave, because food. Yummy food. And we're looking at recruiting more units. We've got some money coming in now, so we can't actually afford to do it, but we're going to go for javelin men. We've got 2 of them coming in. anything else. That's actually quite a poor recruitment pool to be looking at. Skirmisher Cav literally holding everything. Some Axemen as well, of course. There, but we do take that out and we put some cavalry in. So we've got this will take up to an 18 stack, I think. And that'll be 1920 with both the spearmen. Giving us a lot of spearmen in this army. That's a lot of spearmen. But that's got us a 20 stack army once again. Healing up nicely. Not an army in sight, so it should be able to heal up quite quickly. Don't know where the nearest Sudreyar army is, but I genuinely can't see it right now. Ross Martin maybe. Yep, there you go. And that's a 1 stack, so it's only got a general. So it shouldn't be too dangerous by the time we get there. If we were to head in that direction, which I think is kind of what my plan would be. Legitimacy is looking pretty good. Of course at 30, and our perks are starting to look good as well. There's a 15 stack rebel army there as well at Dundurn. But there's a lot of a debate going for this, but there's so much unhappiness created by that silver mine, as much as the other industry building doesn't create any. We've got to have something to be able to offset that, and we don't have anything to offset it, so we can't go there right now because we would just get attacked by rebels constantly with that unhappiness. However, guys, we're going to end this episode on the recompletion of that province. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Apologies again for the post-com, but if you enjoyed it anyway, hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll hopefully catch you all next time.